Welcome everybody to the GWP. My name's Joey Sands. I am with the man who just came back from Yoshi's Island, Hollywood Marcus.
Hollywood is here indeed.
And the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Big Ralph.
And I'm still large and in charge.
Large and in charge, indeed. We're here to talk about this week in wrestling, what could have been, should have been, and what might have been, and what we wanted. I don't know if that's a catchphrase I'm trying to go, but I think we should try it. So let's start off with Raw this week. Now, everything was taped because they were in England and about, so a lot of news leaked out first. But one of the things that came up was Kurt Angle on Miz TV starts out the segment. You know, Miz is pretty much grilling Kurt, saying, "Why are you doing this to me? I can't believe you let me stay. I would have made it scot-free. Instead, I was beaten by Strowman." You know, back and forth with that. Then all of a sudden, Kurt starts standing up for himself. Miz freaks out and then says, "You're in a match against Strowman later tonight." So I think they're doing Strowman-Miz, which I don't really understand because you just know that Strowman can beat Miz.
I think that was just to get him to next week, though. I don't think there's going to be a prolonged program with Miz and Strowman.
I would like to see it, though, if they do continue it. I would like to see the title on Strowman.
The IC title?
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, I would like to see him get it only for the fact that he can get it, hold on to it, and then go for the world title.
Right,
I'm always a big proponent of that.
Yeah, I think it's always good to have a title on a person before they go for the world title. Oh.
Agreed.
Apparently your dog agrees too.
Apollo or Sasha?
Apollo
agrees. So one of the other things that was happening was that there's this mini feud between like Titus Worldwide and Samoa Joe. So Titus decided to, put away the suit and we're going to come down and wrestle Samoa Joe. But in the middle of his entrance, Samoa Joe comes and takes out Apollo and Titus. And then did a little promo, and who greets him but Finn Balor?
See, I like Joe because
Well, thank you. I'm very happy with that. I really appreciate that. I like you too, Marcus. That's why I do this with you.
Let me reword that.
What, you don't like me? Is that what you're saying?
I can't rephrase it because the phrasing is accurate, but I'm going to reword it. Samoa Joe. I like Samoa Joe. Because, like AJ Styles, he looks legitimate. When he walks in the ring, you think this dude's the real deal. He can really beat me up. He can really put me to sleep. And everything he does looks like it's real. So when I saw him come out and just destroy Titus O'Neil, I was like, yes. And then a promo he cut, I was like, more yes. It was good. And then as soon as Balor came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. But I have to tell you guys, I wrote down, even before the match started, I was like, this match is going to end in a no contest, and it did.
I like that it ended in a no contest. It doesn't take away from either man. I want them to push Finn Balor more. I like the way they're doing it. They're just putting him in these random one-offs against people. If they put him in a rivalry with with Samoa Joe, I mean, it's one we've seen in NXT, but it's still a good one, and they'll put on a good match. So I'm all right with this. I like it. I want them to keep doing Finn Balor stuff. I want him to be the Universal Champion again at some point.
How would he get there, though?
I don't know. I mean, I think if you're doing these things where he goes against AJ Styles, now he goes against Samoa Joe, then he can go against somebody like Roman Reigns, and then he does those things, and then he shoots his way to the title, whoever the title holder is at that time. I don't have a problem with him going against Brock Lesnar either, actually. Wow. Those were some noises I got off of that statement.
I want to see him, and I'm pretty sure Big Ralph does too, against Brock Lesnar, but the way they built Lesnar,
you can't, unless there's shenanigans involved, I don't see anyone beating Lesnar without the shenanigans.
Right, but I mean, if they play up the demon persona, which is what they're trying to show, the Finn Balor man can't get it done, but Finn Balor the demon, or the demon Finn Balor can get it done. I mean,
yeah, but if the monster among men couldn't do it, I don't know. I just don't see the demon being able to.
so you're saying that the Universal title has to come off of Brock, which we don't see anybody doing anytime soon for Finn Balor.
Without shenanigans.
We know who's going to take it off him. We already know.
Oh, you're going Roman Reigns.
Yeah, as much as I don't like it, you know that's where it's headed.
See, I would prefer number 17 over Roman Reigns.
Number 17?
He's
The
talking
android?
John Cena.
No, John
Oh,
Cena.
God. Oh, God. No, with you two, it always goes back
It's
to
a
Dragon Ball,
wrestling podcast.
and that's a totally different subject, which I don't even want to get into because I don't understand it anyway.
I'm sorry. As soon as he said number 17, I was like, android? Nanako?
So Samoa Joe Samoa Joe's on Team SmackDown, Raw, right? I believe.
Raw.
Yeah. Samoa Joe
Team
being
Raw.
on Team Raw. One of the other people who is still building her team is Alicia Fox. So today, Alicia Fox and Nia Jax, who's already on the team, announced Asuka earlier that she wanted Asuka on the team, and then she fought in a tag team match with Nia against Sasha Banks and Bayley. Well, in the end of this match, Sasha gets Alicia to tap out to the bank statement and then says to Sasha, I want you on my team. I need you on my team, but yet leaves Bayley out. Is this just a teaser? Are they going to keep Bayley out of this altogether?
I would like for them to keep Bayley out of it just so that they could build that animosity between Bayley and Sasha. So they can finally pull the trigger and have Sasha versus Bayley.
Well, would it be animosity on her end? I don't think that character warrants a jealousy or animosity towards Sasha Banks. I think it would be more of the boss that does that and that character than Bayley, who's happy-go-lucky and huggy.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been better if Bayley got on the team and then Sasha got salty about it. Because I don't think Bayley's the type of person to hold a grudge in that way, just because of the way her character is. But I would have rather, because I know what they're trying to do with that, but I would rather Bayley and Sasha be on the team and they find a way to bring animosity amongst themselves another way, because I don't want Asuka on the team. My reasoning is I don't want her to get pinned. I don't want her to get submitted. I don't want her to lose. Even if it's something where she gets counted out or something stupid, I would rather have her in a singles match or not on the pay-per-view at all, because having her pinned or submitted, it takes away from her. I don't want to see that happen. And it might happen in a match like this.
But it might not, and that's the possibility of it.
Yeah, it might not. It could be like Ziggler being the last man, or like Randy Orton being the last man. And she could be the last woman and win for Team Raw.
Right, and she shows her dominance in that. So it could be a good pushing point for her. But do you think with all the recent, and we'll get into a lot of them, championship changes that we've had recently, which I said twice, which is kind of redundant now that I think of how I said it. But do you think that Bayley being left out leaves her open to do a championship match against Alexa and maybe fight Natalya instead of Alexa versus heel versus heel?
It would all depend on what happens next Tuesday, because there's still 2 more Raws before the pay-per-view, right?
Right.
Yeah, it would all depend on what happens next Tuesday between the Charlotte versus Natalya match.
I think it was you, Big
Ralph. I know you said Natalya, but my mind just went blank on who was the champion.
Yeah, no. I think it was you, Big Ralph, and this is why I posed this question to you guys, that pointed out that most of the championships were heel versus heel, which I thought was interesting.
Yes.
So then when all these title changes started happening, it was like, well, they could play with it and see which one actually excites the fans. And would a Bayley Natalya match be good, or a Bayley Charlotte match, or Alexa Charlotte? Because you got to figure out the combinations that they're going. So I thought, since they're leaving Bayley out, were they going to put her in a push for that?
They could have her go for the title. I think they're going to tease her being the last one picked more than her going for the title.
Yeah, but you also got Mickie James out there, which she's been putting on some good matches lately.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna do anything with her anymore. And I think you want Alexa as the champion going in because she does draw the big crowds.
We know she draws Marcus.
She is a good. Well, yep, she does draw Marcus. But she is a good heel, so right. You want her there.
Right. All right, I can see that, but then you got a talker in her, and if Charlotte wins, well, we're heading into SmackDown, but if Charlotte wins next week, then you got another talker. So you got two talkers going against each other, which might actually be interesting right before.
Yeah, but I mean that build, that's a really short build. And I don't think I like a short build of that initiative because think about the promos that Alexa and Charlotte can do against each other. It's like, build that more if you're going to do that.
I agree. Unfortunately, as we've noticed and we'll get to it when we hit SmackDown, is there have been some title changes on their end, and the build what is not as big as what we would like. So they're doing some last minute changes.
Yeah, let's talk about at least the title change that happened on Raw, which was Cesaro and Sheamus, or better known as the Ba, defeats Ambrose and Rollins and become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. With, of course, as they said, Under Siege 2, which is a really bad... what's his name? That
it sounds like a Schwarzenegger movie.
It was a bad Steven Seagal movie. Right? So, you know, they come out, they distract the whole team. It's Cold Blue. Let's get everybody out there. Nobody finishes the match. All of a sudden, Sheamus hits him with a brogue kick. Next thing you know, 1, 2, 3, new tag team champions. I think that was a kind of weak way of doing it because saying that the match never ended, especially with everybody out there. But I guess you could go that route. And are we seeing, since it was announced that Roman Reigns is coming back next week, are we seeing a Survivor Series match from the Shield against the New Day?
I do see that. A quick note was, when I heard Cold Blue, seeing that I have a medicine background, all I thought was like, damn, who's dying?
Hold on. I have a question for Big Ralph.
Uh-oh.
And I think this might alienate Mr. Sands slightly. But what is Cesaro's and Sheamus's fused name?
See, I want to say the Celtic Superman.
Because I mean, Mr. Sands, they do a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff. Sheamus and Cesaro. Mm-hmm. They do the fusion dance, and they power up before they double kick their opponent. And the fused characters in Dragon Ball always have fused names, like their names are combined. So I'm just thinking, but whatever. I digress.
Totally digress. That is total digression right there.
I think. There we go. Cesaro.
Cesaro.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Celtic cyborg.
Yes.
I like that one. The Celtic cyborg.
I think they should have kept the titles on the Shield because I think the Shield versus the Usos would have been one of the best matches. I probably would have stole the show.
Oh, come on. You don't think the Celtic cyborg group can do this with the Usos? I mean, the Usos is a good tag team partner. Cesaro and Sheamus are a great tag team. They've put on some great matches with the Shield. I mean, you've got the Usos on the other side who are semi-high flyers. Why not? Why wouldn't this be a good pairing?
I'm thinking back to the Shield versus the Wyatts, and that was, I think, one of the best tag team matches in the last 5 years, to be honest with you. So I'm banking off the Shield's reputation to put on good matches, not discounting Cesaro and Sheamus, but I think the Shield versus the Usos would have been a better tag match.
Okay, but Cesaro and Sheamus finished the reign of the New Day. Those matches were very good. Cesaro and Sheamus just did a program with Dean and Seth. Those matches were good. Usos put on something with the New Day, and they had a great showing on that. And you don't think that with these like 4 teams that are right here, they can't mix and match with each other and put on great matches?
I just think the pairing is better. I like the Usos as the top team on SmackDown, and I like the Shield as the top team on Raw.
But but let's say, go back to my question then. Are we seeing a feud between the Shield and the New Day? Is this going to be a match at SummerSlam? Sorry, Survivor Series.
That will be a match at Survivor Series. I guarantee that.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is the only time they can really do it since they're on different brands. So, I mean, yeah, you might get a one-off.
I mean, we have to remember that the big dog is coming back next week. So from then, they're going to start setting it up.
Right. And having the Shield invade SmackDown would be great. It would give a pop.
That would be great.
I'm surprised they haven't done it yet, because that plays...
I think they're waiting for the big dog.
I think Joe was going to say it. They're waiting for the big dog to come back, and then they're going to invade on Tuesday. I'm calling it right now. They're going to invade on Tuesday.
We got a call from Ralph. Big Ralph's making a call. Shield coming down on Tuesday. Under Siege 3. Well, I guess it would be 1 for Raw. I don't know how that works.
It'd be Raw Siege 1.0.
1.0. Shield coming down and probably taking out the New Day. Retaliation for losing the tag team champions. Shit.
Yeah.
There you go. I like it. I'm there for it. I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be fun. I mean, either way, I mean, I would like to see Usos and the Shield, but either way, no matter what tag team combination we get, it's going to be awesome.
So I don't know if there's anything else on Raw besides those points that were interesting enough to mention. You guys have any input on that? Because that's, for me, those were the main points. There were other matches, but I didn't think they were worth mentioning.
I think the only main point for me that I think stood out the most was the Miz's promo, because he's a great heel. We all think he's one of the probably top heels in the company. But that promo he cut on Baron Corbin, I saw such of a babyface character in him. I'm just like, my goodness, if he ever was to go babyface, cutting promos like that, it would work. Even though he's a great heel, it would still work.
I forgot about that. Yeah, definitely. But he can't, even if he goes babyface, he can't change the persona he has. And I think if that match happens, if there's no title change between Miz or Baron Corbin or anybody like that, if that match happens, Miz will get cheered.
Agreed. Well, he could be anti-hero. He doesn't have to be the heel. He doesn't have to be the face. More face than heel, but he could play that in-between role.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to jump over to SmackDown. So SmackDown was held in the same arena as Raw. So we all thought, well, at least I did, that maybe there would be some Raw involvement in SmackDown. But since there wasn't, and we're all assuming it's going to happen next week when Roman Reigns comes back. One of the spots that are still missing for the Survivor Series team was Rusev tried to get that spot. Went against Randy Orton and took a hell of an RKO. Jesus, man. Did you see his head hit that freaking mat?
I swear to you, every time I see Rusev take an RKO, I think that Randy just killed him.
It was damn.
The man cannot take an RKO if his life depended on it. Wait,
though. Who took it better, him or RVD?
Oh, RVD had a pretty sick one, too. But you know what? It looked safe. It looked safe. Like, if you really look at it, you could see that his head didn't really hit. It's just the way his body moved. And it was just, when you saw it, when you see how, I was like, damn.
Like, it reminds me of every time Stone Cold would do the stunner on Vince McMahon, and he's just so stiff.
Well, no, those stunners look terrible. Those stunners, not the stunners look terrible. How Vince did it was just, awful. You were just like, oh, God damn, I think Vince is dead, too. But Rusev, even though it looked controlled, looked just like it. He really drove his head into the ground. I was like, damn, that's... Oof. So, Now, so we're going to go into some of the topics that happened today. So Rusev was denied the spot in the Survivor Series team, and later on in the week, it was announced that John Cena would take the place, fill that last spot.
Don't even get me started on that.
God, what's going
I am
on?
disappointed that they picked Cena.
Because you feel like it's the land of opportunity, yet they pick Cena. But it's Look, if you're going to be in a competition with somebody, you want the best, right? So why would you pick a person?
You want the best, but I would like someone that has been there, always, wrestling, always upping their craft, as opposed to someone who comes in, then leaves, then comes in, then leaves. It's like, it's Cena, so he's in shape.
He's Super Cena.
Yeah, he's Super Cena, so I get it, but I think in the land of opportunity, they should have given the opportunity to someone else.
All right, I can see that, and I can respect that. But if I'm in the competition, and I want to win. I'm going to get the best. If I can get John Cena on my team, I'm going to put John Cena on my team.
All right, let me look at something.
Oh,
I just feel that you're showing no, what's the word? Like, you don't trust the people that are already in your team. You're like, oh, we need a ringer. We need Cena. We need Super Cena.
Well, aren't they establishing right now Shane McMahon as being some type of heel in a sense? I mean,
he's coming off like a heel.
Right? I mean, he invaded a whole nother show. He's saying we're going to do this. He's threatening. I mean, at this point, the land of opportunity. I mean, he went against Daniel Bryan, saying he didn't need his approval to go do something because he was the commissioner. They're at odds. You know what I mean? There's friction there. So for him to be, I'm going to get the best and I want to win because we're not the B show, it just goes with the story that they're saying.
Let me see. Who is on Team SmackDown?
You got Shane, Randy.
You got the glorious one.
Of course, the glorious one. Nakamura. I mean, you got a strong team. I mean, they have Braun on the other side. Just that guy's like two people.
No, but who else? Because I'm looking right now at the entire SmackDown roster. So,
well, I proposed to Ralph when he first told me about having somebody else besides Cena. I said, "Why don't you put Ty Dillinger in there?"
I would have liked the perfect 10.
That would have been fun.
So, Nakamura, Rude, Shane,
Orton,
and Cena.
Orton? Who's the hell's Orton?
Orton.
That's
what I said.
No, you didn't. You said Orton.
All right, so deviating away from the trolling, the people who aren't on the team are Aiden English, Baron Corbin, Big E, Chad Gable, Dolph Ziggler, Epico, Eric Rowan, Fandango, James Ellsworth, Jinder, I guess now that he's not champion, Kevin Owens, Connor, Luke Harper, Mojo Rawley, Primo, Rusev, Sami Zayn, Shelton Benjamin, Sin Cara, the Singh brothers, and Victor, and Xavier Wilson, Zack Ryder. I don't see any of those people making the team. So
you wouldn't put. I mean, Rusev was a good choice. You don't think Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn would have been a good choice?
For storyline reasons, no. And I guess we'll talk about that more later. But yeah, for storyline reasons, it's better for them not to be on the team. That way, they could cost SmackDown the win, which I think they will do.
See, I can see why it would be you wouldn't want Owens or Zayn, but why not Rusev?
Rusev, if this was Rusev from 2 years ago, I will be all for it. But he's lost so much of what he had as like a monster. So,
but that's not his fault.
Yeah,
it's not his fault.
Technically, if we want to get into the pettiness, it's his fault for cutting his hair. But that's just
or getting injured because he wasn't able to perform. I mean, he came back different because he got injured. That's what happened. He was in a program, he got injured, and now he's kind of making up for the time he was gone. So they got him in this thing. And if he was in the Survivor Series team, I'm sure he would be elated.
It would be Rusev Day all over again.
Rusev Day. Rusev Day. I can't do it like Aiden Aiden.
Indeed.
So another championship match that was on the line for SmackDown was the Tag Team Champions, where the Usos fought American Alpha 2.0, or Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. Now, are we seeing, after the match, which was a count-out because Chad Gable took out, or chop block, I don't know which Uso it was, so I'm just going to say Us. Chop block Us, and he got counted out because he, it looked like he busted his knee. Are we seeing a heel face turn here? Are they switching positions?
I told you.
And if they are, should the Usos, and I want them to, stay with the persona that they're currently in?
I told Big Ralph, I told him that the Usos were baby faces, and that Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin were heels, but he would not have any of it.
It's not that I won't have any of it. It's just the character that the Usos are portraying. Just they don't feel like a face to me.
But they get the crowd going. They have good promos. The people are behind them. They can be faces with the same persona.
Yeah, but
I guess
after they turned face the night they made up with the New Day.
Pretty much. And let's take the New Day for that example. When did they really turn face? The only thing is they're still doing the shtick that they've always been doing since even when they were heel. It's just the people are behind them, and maybe they don't do as many dirty tricks like they used to.
They don't attack the crowd as much anymore.
Right,
they used to in the beginning.
So I would say Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are heels. The way
I
they
would definitely say that too after what today.
Shelton Benjamin has always been a heel.
That's
Not
true.
really.
Yeah.
When he was with
Team Angle,
with Charlie Haas,
world's greatest tag team. They were
no,
heels.
But his single IC runs were all
gold
face.
Standard.
When he was a baby's mama.
Yeah.
What was it called? A crybaby? Well, I forget what he was called.
Shelton Benjamin's mama.
He would bring his mom to the ring.
Yeah.
I think she died though.
Okay, we didn't need to bring it down. You just brought it down to a level I didn't really want to go to, man. You just had to bring in death and all this. Jesus, man.
I'm sorry.
You just said, you know what? That was a good set. You didn't have to say she died.
Well, rest in peace, Rip. So sorry.
Now, to bring it down to the level of where you just brought it to where we have death in it, let's celebrate something. Let's celebrate, let's say, a new champion. Let's celebrate a new WWE champion in the form of AJ Styles.
The phenomenal one.
The phenomenal one defeats Jinder Mahal to win the WWE championship and now earns the right to face the Beast at Survivor Series. So
I will tell you, I was surprised that they pulled the trigger so early on AJ Styles. They were building the match between Mahal and Lesnar that I thought that it was going to be Mahal winning on Tuesday.
I thought they were building the Mahal-Lesnar match pretty well. Like, I think the promos were solid. I actually liked it. It started getting me interest. But it seems like nobody else was interested in it, or so they're saying. And that's one of the rumors on why they pulled the trigger on changing the title. If you guys thought Finn Balor couldn't go against the Beast, what makes you think that AJ Styles can hold out?
That's something of a concern of mine, because I think the only reason why they gave it to AJ is because he won't get hurt as much if he loses to Lesnar. So I think he's going to go against Lesnar. Lesnar's going to absolutely destroy him, and then
he's going to take him to Suplex City.
Yeah, he's going to get taken straight to Suplex City, and then he'll lose it back to Jinder before the Indian tour. I think he's being used as a scapegoat, to be honest with you.
See,
as much as I don't like it, I think that's what's going to happen.
I forgot where I heard it. There is a rumor that Mahal will win it, but not before the Indian tour, but in the Indian tour, in his home country, quote unquote.
Even though he's from Canada.
Well, he's built from Punjabi, so
he is
Punjab, India.
Punjab. So,
your thoughts, Mr. Sands?
I don't know. Where do I stand on this? I said at the beginning I was the build to it was actually very interesting to me. I wanted to see, and when you saw the AJ match, they were building Jinder as a very strong competitor. You saw him throw AJ around. You could see he was very powerful. Kind of goes with the news, what is it? The path he's taken. I don't know, his bodybuilding, his new look, his Jack persona. I don't know if it is, but I mean, if it is, it is. If it's not, then I hope it's not. I hope it's just natural. And then again, you view Jinder a little bit better than the rest of us, and look at his nipples. So, hey, but all in all, I was like, hey, I actually wanted to see if it could happen, if Jinder would put up a fight, or just having the sings. Maybe we'd see a double F5. I don't know. The possibilities of what could have happened could have been entertaining, and people do not like Jinder a lot, so to watch him get beat up by the Beast might be fun too. This puts another take on it. I am interested in it still. I want to see AJ. AJ's a very good performer, so I think that no matter what, because Lesnar's matches seem to be very short, very quick, they have certain explosive power moves, I think AJ will bring a little more finesse to the match. I'm excited about it, but I would have liked to see what happened with Jinder. I think it would have been an interesting match. I think they could have done a lot of other things. But I'm not taking anything away from Jinder. And one of the other things I wanted to point out, which I didn't, was that I noticed in a lot of promos lately, which is something they haven't really done, the people who are putting the promos together are actually putting over their opponents. You never hear them say you suck or anything like that. They always say you've been putting on a great match, or you're very brutal, you're very this, you know what I mean? They don't diminish them in any way. What they're doing is they're building them up and saying, then I'm going to beat you. So I think that's, something that's good, because if you diminish the person you're going against, then you automatically think there's no way they're going to win. But if you build them up saying they're very strong competitor and they're very this and that, and then say, but in the end, I'm going to take them out, I think that's better. And I noticed that this week in the promos, that they were very concise about saying the positive things of the opponent that they were going against in SummerSlam. Survivor
that's what
Series,
you should
Jesus.
do. That's psychology, and that's logic, because if you badmouth your opponent, say that he's garbage, say that he sucks, say that he's weak, say that he can't do anything, and then that person beats you, how does that make you look? So you always want to build up your opponent and make them look credible, make them look like a threat. That's why they beat you. It's like, okay, well, I got beat by somebody who's actually really good, rather than somebody who I badmouth and say they can't wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was all good.
Leave the can't wrestle chance to the crowd.
Yeah. But this doesn't always work. I mean, look at Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss does not put over her people at all. She insults them to death. But people love it. And it doesn't make the other person look bad.
It's a different dynamic when it comes to Alexa.
Oh, that damn Alexa.
That damn Alexa.
I don't know how she does it.
I mean, in her defense, she hasn't lost the title in a while. So she can keep outmouthing her opponents as long as she doesn't lose the title.
True. It's a very good point.
Not like the Ba.
The Ba. So the last point I want. The last,
who bout-mouthed the Shield, and then they lost it to the Shield.
But we all expect the Bar and the Shield to put on a good match. You know what I mean? And just show their dominance.
And it was good.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good, but again, the way they finished that match was a little...
It was good. I don't
want to say weak, but...
The finish I didn't like. I understand why they did it, but the finish was just like, See,
I'm going for their I'm calling it the Cesaro loses his teeth match.
Yeah.
Where it was a good match up until he loses his teeth, and then it's a great match after that. Because you're like, damn, like that cyborg, that he is a cyborg. Like,
yeah, no, he. And again, I think he's one of those people that deserves some type of championship. I know he held the U.S. title for a time, and I think he held the Intercontinental at one point. And he's held a tag team multiple times with multiple partners. It's just that he needs to have a world title. He has to have the WWE title at least once.
He has to have a top title,
yeah.
a top singles title.
And he deserves
He'll run with it, too. Dude, if he was a champion, oh, man. The matches he can put on with the roster that they have, he will be, I think, probably one of the top 10 champions in the last 20 years.
I agree. I'm all there with it. I'm all Cesaro in.
I mean, not everybody could be world champion. I understand that. But, I mean, look at your roster, man. Nakamura, Owens, AJ, Sami Zayn, like, Rollins, like, all these people with world champion potential. And yes, some of them have had it, but I don't think we've actually seen a legitimate world title reign where we were like, he's a man, he's the champion. There's always been some type of gimmick or aura surrounding the championship that just makes us go, ah. I'm still waiting for that one title reign from one of those people to just make me go, yep, that's the champ. He's a man. There he is.
I'm going to have to agree with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. At least somebody agrees with me.
I agree with you. I didn't say no. I said he needs a top title. So,
yeah.
Maybe Styles as the champion if Cena wasn't in the picture. I can see it. But the whole Styles versus Cena was kind of for me.
They put on great matches. It's just the outcome was just like, oh, really? You really?
Well, that's what had me. It was the outcome, not the match itself. The matches were great matches, just like the Cena versus Randy Orton are great matches. It's just
100 times already. That's the whole point. That's the whole problem with it. And I swear to you, if Lesnar destroys AJ the way I think he is, I'm gonna have a hard time keeping my subscription to WWE Network. I'm telling you.
Oh my god! How many times have you already canceled this subscription without actually canceling it?
I canceled it once.
Once, and you said you were gonna cancel it. How many times?
Yeah, there's more than once that you said you were gonna cancel.
See, I always give stipulations on why I will cancel it, and WWE they didn't let me down, so I didn't have to cancel it. But I swear to you, if he gets wrecked, like I think they will, to save Jinder, so for Jinder to save face in India, I swear, you'll hear from me, Vince.
See, I don't mind Styles losing. I just don't want him to lose like Cena lost. Because I think that you could do better with.
Because everywhere else, Ring of Honor, New Japan, hell, even TNA, that will be a match people will tune in and see because they know they're going to get something special. But in WWE, nah, Lesnar I just see him steamrolling, and I don't like it because I know Lesnar has a reputation backstage for not wanting to commit himself fully to people who he thinks aren't worthy. Like, look at the Dean Ambrose interview where Ambrose was like, yeah, he really didn't want to do much. It's like, I don't know. I don't want AJ to be the recipient of Lesnar's not stellar attitude.
All right. Well, I mean, we're just going to have to see. I get what you're saying, but I think that, like I said before, I think with the two individuals, I think with AJ being who he is, he will put on a good show.
He's the Ric Flair of this generation.
He's the Shawn Michaels, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not, you and Ric Flair have a special bond, but Shawn Michaels and I have a special bond.
This is why I say Ric Flair of this generation, because no matter who you listen to or how they explain it, Ric Flair, they always say that people have always had their best matches with Ric Flair because Ric Flair will make you look like $1 million no matter who it is. And that's the same thing with AJ. AJ could put on a match with anybody and make them look like $1 million. Look at what he did with Jinder Mahal. This is Jinder Mahal's best match. He lost a title, yeah, but AJ made him look like he can go in the ring, and he can't.
He made him look like $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not $1 million.
Half a million.
So, I mean, that's why I compare him to Flair, and that aspect.
But that's Shawn Michaels too. Can you give Shawn Michaels props? You always go Flair. Can we go Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels made everybody look like $1 million in the ring.
Does Shawn make Hogan look like $1 million?
Shawn didn't care for Hogan at that time, so no.
I'm sorry, but no one can make Hogan look like $1 million.
The only match,
did.
Yeah, the only match that I ever liked of Hogan's was Warrior Hogan. The first Warrior, not the WCW one. That was terrible.
Shit, I mean, sorry.
What? Where's that 15-second delay you were talking about earlier?
Oh man, Randy made Hogan look like $1 million too.
Hell, Savage made Savage and Hogan looked good. That was a good match between the two of them.
Because of who was in the match with him. Randy carried Hogan.
Right, and Hogan carried Warrior. Look, we're now deviating from it. I agree with
I forgot what we were talking about.
AJ Styles will make everybody look like $1 million.
So will Shawn Michaels. I will give you that.
So would Shawn Michaels. So would Ric Flair. I will eventually watch the Ricky Steamboat matches. I will, I swear. If you suggest it as a best match, I will have to watch it.
Okay, then in 2 weeks, when it's my turn to pick the best match, I want all of you to know right now, Flair versus Steamboat 3. That's what I'm picking. I'm telling you right now. So
like
be ready.
The third one out of the series, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, the one from Wrestle War 89.
Wrestle War 89. Okay, well, you heard it right here. Wrestle War 89, 2 weeks from now.
Get ready.
Get ready. All right, I'm ready. I've been wanting to watch them. This is going to force me to watch them. Now, making people look like $1 million.
It's sad that you need that.
You know what? There's just so many hours in a day.
I know, because I also need that motivation.
I need the motivation. So, one of the other things that happened, of great workers, was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We had a match. We had Shane McMahon come out at the beginning with the New Day talking about Under Siege 2. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens comes out and says, look what you're doing. You shouldn't be doing this. You never asked us. We should be on the team. We'll make it better. This is all you're doing. We should be there. You're making us do these ridiculous tasks because you're to land the opportunity, but really you're only putting people that you like. So they put him in a match. They put Sami Zayn in a match against Kofi Kingston. Kofi wins. After the match, Owens comes in, beats up Kofi a little, and then they leave. So the rumor is, or the backstage part is, that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were sent home for the tour. Now the reason why is because at the end of the match, Owens was supposed to come in and beat up on Kofi, but then there was supposed to be a babyface comeback where the New Day gets the best out of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which sets up the tag team match for next week. So either there was a miscommunication. Now there were very reports at the beginning. It said that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have heat backstage because they were very, very difficult to work with, and they missed the spot that they were supposed to do. Now they're saying, one of the things I read recently is that it might have been a miscommunication, that they are very good workers, nobody knows of them being unhappy in the corporation, and that as a punishment for missing the ending or not doing the correct ending, they sent them home. I don't know what we only Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the people at WWE know what really happened, whether it was them doing it on purpose or whether it was a mistake. Either way, are we seeing another group of people leaving the WWE because of creative?
What I heard was that they were supposed to feed to the New Day, and they didn't. They just kind of left. And I also read that they weren't happy backstage and were being difficult to work with. So, I mean, I posed this to both of you when I first saw the article. I think we might see another Neville where they both walk out because they're both world-class, world champion level stars, and I don't think they're happy with their position in the company. So, yeah, they might walk out.
Well,
I agree, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you agree them walking out, or you agree that...
I agree that if it's true that they are unhappy, they might just, to quote back when Stone Cold did it, they might just pick up their ball and leave.
So this is the last article I read. It was put out today, and it was Dave Meltzer. So we all know Dave Meltzer's a big name reviewing wrestling. So he noted that the match finish went down as planned, but the problem came during the post-match segment. Owens ran in and attacked Kofi as he was supposed to, and the New Day chased him away. Owens and Sami then left together. Apparently, Sami and Owens were not supposed to leave right away. They were supposed to stay and get beat up, according to multiple sources. Other sources indicate that it was complete miscommunication, and it's not like Owens and Sami to refuse to get beat up by the New Day. There are reportedly no issues related to Owens and Sami being mad about putting the New Day over. The issues are related to the two being expected to get beat up by the match, which was supposed to build their feud for the tag team match next week. Sami and Owens were told to leave the arena, go back to the hotel, and fly home. They are off the current tour, but everything else is up in the air. They could be back for Tuesday's SmackDown, but nothing official other than the status for their current
sounds
tour.
really petty for miscommunication.
See, exactly. Like, my problem is, if it was a miscommunication, the punishment does not fit the crime.
Yeah, that's like Titus O'Neil getting suspended for 60 days for roughhousing with Vince McMahon. I mean, come on.
Roughhousing.
Yeah, some of their punishments seem really petty. Like, we touched upon Rusev, cut his hair, got buried. I'm like, come on, really?
This is all hearsay. We don't know what really happened. There's nothing coming from Sami Zayn. There's nothing from Kevin Owens, nor WWE. You go Dave Meltzer because Dave Meltzer's been in the wrestling game for a long time. He does talk to people. I mean, it's kind of a trusted name. So for him to say, well, I don't think there's any heat, there's no issues, it was just a miscommunication, doesn't lead me to believe that those two are actually going anywhere. Plus, I mean, why would Owens and Sami, I mean, they're in a great storyline right at the moment. Owens has had multiple championships. They let him go home when he had an issue at home, in the middle of a tour. To whatever family issue, which they never really said, which is fine because he should be private. But they let him go home. What gripes could he, at least him, could possibly have with the company?
Let me pose this to you. What do you think about them putting this information out there for storyline purposes? What if it's a work? What if they're just doing this just to further the storyline that Sami and Kevin are unhappy?
With Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could push it. And maybe this leaked out after the announcement of John Cena.
Yeah. I mean, now I'm thinking after Dave Meltzer's report, I mean, it might be a work. They just might be working the smart fans.
Maybe. And they've been known to do that before.
I wouldn't put it past them. So, Dave, if you're listening to this, man, we would love to have you as a guest. Talk to us. Come find us. We'll talk to you about wrestling.
Love talking about that. Talk about wrestling. One of the things that came out this week, which I didn't mention to you two before we went on, but I just glanced at, was Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
Alpha Fish Omega?
Yes.
I mean, wow. I mean, they had a Twitter war or something going on where they were going back and forth, but to actually have Jericho and Omega fight in New Japan, I believe.
Yeah, for Wrestle Kingdom 12, I believe
12.
it is.
Wrestle Kingdom 12 in the Tokyo Dome.
That's going to be great.
I originally posted this on YouGeekly on our Facebook page, facebook.com/YouGeekly. And I literally said, take my money, please, New Japan. Like, I will sign up for your network. I will pay whatever the pay-per-view cost is. I will stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning so I can watch it on your schedule. I do not care. I will pay to see this.
Yeah, I would pay to see this. I mean, and the way the promo and the way the video package went, it just made me want more. It was like, And Jericho's so good at that. He knows how to play the crowd. He knows what to do. He's just a master of what he does. I'm amazed. I love it. I can't wait.
Can you imagine the promos leading up to it between him and Kenny Omega?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be awesome. Like I said, I can't wait.
Plus, I think, because I know Jericho has gone on record saying that he will never work for any other promotion except for WWE, but this is a departure.
This is a one-off.
It might not be, though, because do you know about his cruise that he's having next year?
Yes.
Okay, so on that cruise,
there's going to be
exactly for a tournament to see who gets a shot at the world title. So I mean, he's working with other companies. This just might be the beginning of something where we see Jericho branch out into independence or secondary and third tier companies like TNA. I don't think he'll go to TNA, but like Ring of Honor, New Japan, you might see him over in England. Like you never know.
Anywhere but TNA would be nice.
I don't think TNA's going to last so much longer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's just too much going on right now.
I know we've been saying that for years, but, just come on.
I mean, they just whatever. I don't want to get into that. But what I do want to get into is NXT.
Before we get to NXT, I have a question.
Let's talk about wrestling.
Go ahead.
What did you guys think of the Becky Lynch versus Mr. No Chin?
See, I didn't mention it because I just didn't think anything of it. To be honest with you, I didn't think it forwarded the Survivor Series story any. I think
not as a forwarding plot, more like a fun tidbit.
Don't know if they're getting rid of Ellsworth or Ellsworth is going to do something to have the girls lose, which could happen. Because
I'm hoping they get rid of him.
See, Ellsworth was very important in last year's Survivor Series. If you think about it, he was the one that got Braun Strowman counted out in the last one.
Yes.
Holding his legs and stuff like that. So either he's going to be detrimental in the girls winning at SmackDown, or he's going to cause them to lose.
I have another issue with this match. Okay, so you have Becky coming out, and we love Becky. She's a stupendous wrestler. Like, I think as far as athleticism go and actually knowing how to wrestle, I think she's the best on that roster. I think she's better than Charlotte in some respects. She just needs better mic work, but her mic work has gotten a lot better. But you have her coming out facing a guy who says that, oh, you're a woman, I can beat you. It's not really an issue, right? She comes out, but then you have the rest of the women come out with her. If this is really an issue of a woman versus man, and a man or a woman can do whatever a man can do, I wouldn't have the rest of the female locker room come out to support her. Like, she can do it by herself. She's strong. She's independent. And I would have played that up instead of having all of them come out. Just a minor thing, I thought.
I think they came out as unity, as in, we support her because this guy is such an idiot.
I'm with Ralph on this one. I think it was just a solidarity. I mean, think of with everything going on this year with Wonder Woman being a very good show, a good movie, and there's a women's movement right now to show solidarity, and women can do it just as good as the men. I think that's all it was. Plus, she's the team leader of SmackDown, the women's SmackDown group, so I think it's just solidarity. I'm right with Ralph on this one.
Yeah, and just because the fact of what Carmella did right after the match,
right?
I just think it just showed that they are a unified front.
I wish he would have wrecked Ellsworth harder, though. I wish he would have like just destroyed him.
Knocked him into 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, man.
Well, if you ever go online or on Instagram,
I saw that
yeah,
actually.
They kept on beating him up on the tour. So I think Carmella
Charlotte
gave him
choke
like
slammed him.
yeah, he got choke slammed. He got everything. I think Carmella hit him with a Bronco Buster. Which, hey, I mean, Carmella can hit me with a Bronco Buster, man.
Yeah, I don't qualify that as a punishment.
Becky gave him the people's elbow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't mention it because I didn't think it was anything that pushes the storyline going. I see what your point is, but I thought it was just solidarity.
Yeah,
So,
I can see your point.
So let's jump into NXT. NXT for me was there. It wasn't one of the best NXTs. I think it's just kind of moving things along so they're getting towards War Games as well. The only thing that was of significance in my mind was the Roderick Strong Adam Cole match at the end. That match was moving so good. I mean, it was a great match, and to have it broken up, with all the Fish and O'Reilly coming in to interrupt the match. And then, of course, Sanity comes out, and they all have a full-out brawl. Oh, AOP comes out. It's just pushing forward that storyline. But I would love to see Cole and Strong go at it again with a definitive finish.
I called it. I wrote in my notes, this is going to end in a no contest. Just like earlier with Balor and Joe, I was like, no contest. Nobody's going to win this match, and nobody won.
It was a great match, though. Again,
it was a really good match.
I actually want to pose a question I just thought of, thinking of the different matches that happened in NXT. Billie Kay, when she first started, was coming out as a dominant force, and then when she got that eclipse from Ember Moon, where she got that little stinger, where she kind of freaked out. Ever since then, she hasn't been as dominant as Peyton Royce. Do you think that Billie Kay's stock is just going down and they're just betting everything on Peyton Royce?
You know what? I noticed that too, and I wrote it down in my notes. I wrote that I think Billie Kay can be a really dominant heel. She can come out and she can just wreck people. And with Peyton Royce in her corner, I mean, who really would be able to stop her?
And they started it that way. That's how she came out. That's how I was introduced to her.
I don't know why they're deviating from it. I mean, do they want to put more of a spotlight on Peyton? Like, I don't get it, because looking at Billie Kay, she can be a force in the women's division. All she has to do is get away from that cutesy little, oh my god, my best friend, yeah, I love you, all that type of stuff. If she got away from that and would just be kind of like Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox can be a credible, serious threat, but that stuff that she does is just so stupid and offsetting. It just makes me not want to watch her. So,
and crazy.
I see Joe's point exactly. She can be somebody super, but they're not doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that when she got beat by Kairi Sane, which I'm not convinced on yet, to be honest. I haven't been. And again, I have not seen the Mae Young Classic, so I can't say anything. But to lose to her, it didn't. I know it's pushing that she's a credible 4-way person for the title, but it just, I don't know. I saw Billie Kay as more, and it's just, I don't know, kind of fizzled.
Yeah, they're focusing more on Peyton, I think.
Yeah. So we are the GWP, which means we are the greatest wrestling podcast, and one of the things we like to do is give what we think is one of the greatest wrestling matches. And this week's pick was Big Ralph. Big Ralph, what match did you pick as the greatest wrestling match?
Hey,
for my pick, okay, go ahead, Hollywood. You have the floor.
No, hold on. Hi, Liz. Okay, go, Ralph.
Oh, God, yeah, the daily plug.
Wait, now I have to catch my. I have to, my train of thought is lost right now. Wait up.
You see what you did?
All
Liz?
right. Yes. See, I don't know if it was Liz or if it was you plugging her.
Oh man.
Sorry, Liz. I had to. All right. For my pick this week, I picked WrestleMania 19, The Rock versus Austin, in Austin's last match and the final confrontation between the two of them, where The Rock finally came on top. That sounded wrong. I didn't expect that. The Rock finally pinned him at a WrestleMania event.
I was not going to say anything.
Yeah, no, you did that on your own. I was going to let that one go.
I did. I still had the plug in my head.
God.
Oh man. Okay.
One comment, Hollywood, and you throw every podcast off the rails. One comment.
I'm chaotic neutral. Sorry.
There you go.
See, I found this match to be very entertaining. The Rock coming in as the heel,
right,
and then throughout the match, the antics that he did, putting on the Stone Cold vest and just trying to mess with him and doing the stunner on him. I've always liked The Rock versus Austin. Any match of them, I would always tune in. Him actually finally winning at a WrestleMania was great.
Yeah.
And the crowd got behind him after he won, even though he was supposed to be a heel. He won them over. It just shows how much charisma he had back then. He still does, but unfortunately, I don't get to see him wrestle anymore.
Unfortunately, what I liked about this, because I watched it before we did the podcast, is that they didn't do that much.
No.
But what they did do, it counted. Everything they did mattered. And I know Stone Cold.
That's why I liked it. It was a simple match, yet it showed.
It told the story.
How to explain it exactly. It told the story just in the ring itself, which is why I pointed out. The Rock came in as a heel. People were booing him, and then at the end of the match, he won, and the people were cheering. You would see it in the stands. People were jumping up. Yeah, exactly. And then Stone Cold leaving, and the people were applauding him and showing signs of respect for him.
I mean, I don't know if you two feel the same way, but I don't get that big match feel anymore. Like when The Rock's music hit, you knew you're going to see somebody special. When the glass shattered for Stone Cold, it's like, holy crap.
See, even to this day, I hear The Rock's song come on and I get goosebumps all over. The glass shatters and I get goosebumps.
Yeah,
I don't get that from wrestlers nowadays.
The only person I still get that from is Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho. What about nobody gets that from Cena coming up?
No.
You guys don't get it, but it still gets a pop when his song starts. It's still a reaction. When you're having the conversation of some of the greatest, his name has definitely got to be there.
I agree. His name should be up there. But
I would take nothing away from him, but I mean, think about it for a second. The last 10 or 15 years has been all Cena, right? Go back to the 90s, the 2000s. Look how many people you had in the top position, like 3 or 4 at the same time, right? So when their music hit for you.
Yeah, you had The Rock, you had Triple H, you had Austin, you had Shawn Michaels, you had Taker.
Yeah,
you would always you had Kane, so you would change people around. You're like, okay, the top guy now is this, then the top guy. But since the Cena era, which is what I'm gonna call it, Cena has been the top guy.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Roman Reigns. Well, so I mean, it kind of takes away the stuff.
No, it's not going to be Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns, but no.
Let me throw something out there, because after what you said, and it's recent because of what happened with Owens being taken off the tour and other things. If you were in the stands in a live show and you heard Triple H's music, you wouldn't think you're seeing something special?
Depends which song comes on. If it's the King of Kings, no. If it's the DX, then yes.
Wait, which one? Just the DX theme?
Yes.
Well, not even like, it's time to play the game,
No.
Not that one?
Not that one.
That's like in between
he's
the
not
DX.
the problem is he's not the game anymore. He's the rule master now.
All right, so if you were sitting in the European tour that just did, and you had a match and it had Rollins and Dean, and then they said they needed a third person to fight the Bar, and you heard Triple H's music, you wouldn't pop for that. You wouldn't be like, get excited for that.
I give him props. I give him respect, but it just wouldn't be the same.
He's not somebody who popped. If it was Michael's music, I would be like, yeah. But Triple H, Undertaker, yes, definitely.
There you go. But Undertaker. All right. What about Edge?
Yeah, I will pop for Edge.
His music comes out. You think you know me, and he goes. I mean, I'd pop for that if he came back.
I think it's because we still see Triple H semi-regularly.
Yeah, but you don't see him wrestle. I guess you see him every WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you see him
but
wrestle.
He comes out, and he always comes out to his song. So it's like you hear it. You don't hear it as often now, but you still hear it every so often. With Stone Cold, like you hear it once a year,
if that.
True. The same thing with The Rock. Well, The Rock you've heard more since his feud with.
The thing about Triple H, he's such a presence on social media and in the WWE doing what he does as COO that, I mean, when he does come out, it's a little bit diminished because he's already there. But if I'm watching a show and I hear Break the Walls Out or something, I'm just like, holy crap, it's Jericho. Like, I get excited. Triple H just never really excited me. But I understand your point.
It's more of a preference, I think. I think that Triple H was a preference of yours. Because if you say that you'd pop for Edge coming in, but you won't pop for Triple H, it kind of goes, well, that's just a preference then at that point.
Yeah, it's more of a preference in my opinion. But I've never really been a Triple H kind of guy unless he's in DX.
That's why I think Edge is a better wrestler than Triple H.
Okay, that's a whole nother debate for a whole nother show, man. Jeez, I don't want to even get into that. Come on, all right. Best wrestler, come on, man. Edge is the best wrestler that's preference. It can't be. They don't do that. They both don't do that many moves. They're not technically sound. He does a spear. They're both showmanship. It's not a wrestler.
What Hollywood is trying to say is Edge is a better showman than Triple H.
No, I think he's a better wrestler. But like Joe said, we can leave it for another podcast.
So the match that we were talking about before we get into something crazy was Rock versus Stone Cold's last hurrah. Rock hits him with 3 rock bottoms until he could put him away. The shock on Rock's face after he hits the first one, knocks and he kicks out, then hits him with the second one, and he still kicks out was just priceless.
But see, I like that. It took three rock bottoms to take him down.
Right.
Not one F5, okay? Not one spear or one Superman punch. No, took 3 rock bottoms, which is how it should be. Not just one on you're out. No.
Yeah, but they started a whole false finish stuff, though.
Yeah, but
sometimes can work to the detriment of a match.
And the build-up and the history, I think the false finishes are okay.
And I might be wrong, but I think they were the ones who started stealing each other's finishers.
Could be.
I mean, false finishes work in a match like Taker, Michaels, Rock, Austin. Well, it works on those big stage situations, but now you see it every night.
Yeah, they're established. And if they're established to the way the Rock and Austin were, you can do those. The antics, Rock being in the vest most of the match.
I like seeing the Rock just oversell Stone Cold moves.
Yeah, and again,
it's hilarious.
Talking about somebody who takes a stunner. Let's look at that.
He damn near backflips out of it.
He backflips. He out of the ring. He's hit the ropes how many times with his feet just with his stunners.
But it's overselling. But the way he does it's entertaining to watch. I don't think that he's gonna take it and he's gonna his neck is gonna snap or he's gonna like kill himself.
The flopping fish.
Flopping fish.
Oh man, but who took it better, The Rock or Scott Hall?
Oh yeah, Scott Hall, a pretty good one too. You know what though? The Rock took it more, and he flipped around a lot more. So I'm going with The Rock. Plus, he's a hometown guy for us, so I gotta go with The Rock.
I grew up watching The Rock, so I'm gonna have to say The Rock.
So that was our greatest match. It was the WrestleMania 19 Rock versus Austin. Austin's last match before he pretty much went to retirement. You could catch that match on WWE.com or the network. You could also catch it on Daily Motion, and I think you can see bits of it on YouTube. So that's our greatest wrestling match. We are the Greatest Wrestling Podcast, and you can find us on the Unique Geek Network or ugeekly.com, which is UGEEKLY. You also can see some of our other programs, which we have Bewitched, who does her streaming. We also have Twitch. We have Hollywood doing streaming on Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. We have YouTube channel. We have Instagram. We have Twitter. Come check us out. You can also join us in any conversations on our website, which is also called Geekly. Am I missing anything on that?
No. Oh,
right.
Join our Discord and come talk to us.
Yeah, come join us on Discord and talk to us. We'll love to hear from you. So that's it for us. I want to thank you, everybody, for joining us today. My name's Joey Sands. I'm with
Hollywood Marcus.
And
Big Ralph.
And we'll talk to you next week. Thank you and goodbye.